Democratic candidates for governor met in downtown Detroit today at Cobo Center. They laid out their vision for Michigan at a forum held by the state Democratic Party. Local 4's Natalie Sentz was there and breaks it down for us.
Each candidate was given half an hour to talk, 10 minutes to say whatever they want, 20 minutes to answer questions from the public. And the people I spoke to said pretty satisfied. They got what they want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got a real sense of the candidates for the first time.
And I thought, wow, great. I get to hear 3 people running for governor talk, so might as well take them up on it.
The general public, politicians, and government leaders filled this small room to get the first chance to meet the person who may someday run all of Michigan. In the race is State Representative Alma Wheeler-Smith, Lansing Mayor Virg Bonero, and House Speaker Andy Dillon. Democratic gubernatorial candidates with a common vision.
To get our people back to work.
We're going to make Michigan the #1 place in the country to do business, because that means jobs.
We're certainly working to attract new business to the state of Michigan and to grow those that we have.
They share a goal and some similar hardships, struggling to distance themselves from the current administration.
And I think she does deserve criticism for not being aggressive enough. I will certainly be aggressive.
A lot of people have seen the governor and I differ on several major issues, and I'm really the candidate for the people of Michigan.
I am my own man. Anybody that knows me knows that. My plan will be mine. We're going to put together a great team for Michigan's future, but the emphasis is on the future. It's not on the past.
This is a great opportunity for people to hear what the candidates have to actually say, like come from their mouths, not from hearsay or third parties.
It's the first time I've heard them actually extensively, other than in just short sound bites. I got a real sense of them. I'm very impressed with all 3.
It's the first of many forums yet to come, as well as debates before the primary in August and general election in November. In downtown Detroit, Natalie Sentz, Local 4.
The campaigning starts earlier and earlier. Any other potential candidates will have to make up their minds pretty soon if they plan to jump into the race. The filing deadline just 3 weeks away.
Well, a rise in locker room thefts at a school in Birmingham has parents, educators, and students taking sides over what should be done. The robberies and the debate are happening at Seaholm High School, and that's where we find our Natalie Sentz. Natalie, some people say it's time for security cameras to be installed there.
Oh, that's right, but in part, the school board has been agreeing with the students, saying that their perception of privacy outweighs the possible deterring of crime. And right now, there are no security cameras at all inside here at Seaholm or at Groves, and no way to see who's taking the kids' stuff.
Like right in here, like right in there, like snug tied.
Hidden under a pile of clothes were more than $700 worth of electronics.
Like my phone was $400 and my iTouch was $300, and I had like $30 in my wallet, and they took the whole thing.
Zach's locker was pried open, and no one can tell who stole his and everyone else's stuff.
My friends got all their stuff stolen, like their iPhones and like everything, like their wallets.
I think it's ridiculous that we don't have security cameras outside the doors to the locker room and inside the school itself.
Some parents and Seaholm High School staff want security cameras put in.
They would be a great deterrent to theft in the locker rooms, theft in general.
They're not asking for cameras to be put inside the locker rooms where it could possibly see a person getting ready for gym class, but outside here where it could see anyone coming and going and find out what time they were in there.
There was a student group last year that worked very much against cameras.
A group of kids believe cameras would infringe on their civil rights. Their claims were successful with the school board.
There's security cameras in every intersection, in every store, in every bank. It's ridiculous.
Like we hide them, and the kids find them. Like they go through the clothes and just find them and put them in their packages, walk out.
Now, there have been more than a dozen thefts reported within the past 6 weeks. More are now expected now that spring activities have started. And the school board, I'm told, is now reevaluating their stand on security cameras. Reporting live in Birmingham, Natalie Sentz, Local 4.
Natalie, I know the investigation is still pending, but the thieves, do they think they're students or do they think it's someone from outside the school?
No one knows. Before, there's been people from outside the school. They believe that it could be student to student, but really that's what's pretty frightening for parents. They're saying, who knows who's coming in here, and what if our kids walk in on them while they're in the process and possibly lash out? So, of course, it could be dangerous.
All right, well, our Natalie Sentz reporting for us live. Devin?
men, planning the perfect proposal can be intimidating, to say the least. But there is now a Metro Detroit entrepreneur who will try to take all the stress out of it. I'm not sure you can take all the stress out of it.
Well, no, probably not. Anyway, from popping the question to finding the perfect engagement ring, they'll plan it all for you on your budget. Local 4's Natalie Sentz joins us now. She's got more from Engagements Made Easy. Natalie.
Most guys have a really tough time even trying to pick out the perfect ring, much less knowing when or how to ask, will you marry me?
I haven't even really thought that far along about what the next steps are.
His girlfriend doesn't know what's coming, and he doesn't know what he's doing. Here for help using Engagements Made Easy, getting a ring and planning how to give it.
You definitely want it to be something special.
They're buying the ring and going, okay, what next? You know, how do I do this? How am I going to pull off the whole experience?
Philip Locke is an entrepreneur and a jeweler, starting this new company after helping his friends find a ring and make proposal plans.
It wasn't just going out to dinner and spending a night at a hotel. It was all these little details that made it special.
Women don't seem to mind their guy getting a little help.
I was surprised about the whole night, and then, yeah, I was surprised that his friend helped him, but it made sense that it took two of them to come up with all that, because they're guys.
It's just something I enjoy.
He lets the man test drive the rings to take home and show her mom, sister, or best friend, making them help find what she'd like best, then tapping his head to come up with a romantic adventure.
Something that would be special for her and I, and either be a past experience or something that we can always remember, you know, celebrate, you know, going forward in the future.
The entire proposal could cost between $500 and $50,000, but the planning, the ideas, that's all free as long as you buy the ring. In Bloomfield Hills, Natalie Sentz, Local 4.
Interesting. I'm kind of old-fashioned, though.
You'd rather have somebody do it on their own rather than think they bought the kit?
Kind of. I mean, that's very nice what they're doing there, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm old-fashioned. How about you?
Stroke. Well, I'm thinking it is the difference between some people would rather have like a homemade, maybe not as polished Valentine, and somebody would want, you know, the full.
There you got it.
$10 card with the, yeah. And
correct.
So it's, yeah. It's
you get my
different strokes for everybody. When Michigan's smoking ban for restaurants goes into effect on May 1st, some businesses have been claiming, as you've heard, they will lose customers. Well, we found one place that says it's seeing a boost to its business. Natalie Sentz explains why.
A lot of smokers will soon be very worried about where they're going to be smoking come May 1st. Well, it's enough incentive for a lot of them to go to at least one place to learn how to quit. This may seem like an extreme way to quit, but she's tried everything, and for her, the clock is ticking.
Oh, I do like to go out and I like to socialize, and and when I socialize, I smoke.
Julie is counting down to May 1st when she can't light up in Michigan restaurants or bars anymore. A day her boss, John, is also asking all of his employees to stop smoking.
I'm going to enforce the rules in the company. I'm not going to have any smoking on premises or around premises.
So many people have had the same plan that Michigan's workplace ban is more than doubling the amount of smokers going to Troy's Innovative Medicine, getting acupuncture and light therapy.
And it was in the House, the bill was being put together. There was a lot of interest and a lot of calls of people wanting to know what the procedure was like, and when it finally passed, January, the phone started ringing off the hook.
Like most cessation programs, this is tax deductible, making John willing to even foot the bill for his workers.
It's not fair to the other people that don't smoke. Why? Because I think this was an awareness, this program that's coming up, it brought us more aware of what's going on.
Holistic healthcare is getting a lot more business as quitting cold turkey is too tough for those who finally have enough incentive to stop.
This is it, and it's time. I think it's a big motivator for me.
Innovative Medicines say they've treated more than 2,500 smokers since the law was passed. In Oakland County, Natalie Sentz, Local 4.
Whatever it takes, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
WTIV Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
An unusual attack tonight. A local man is locked up and accused of slashing his own father with a sword. Good evening. The man's father found him drinking heavily, and it escalated from there.
And he's now facing life in prison. It happened at a home in Oakland County's Orion Township. Natalie Sentz is live outside the court where he was charged today. Natalie, I'm not sure unusual actually really explains what happened here.
You know, Devin, it's actually pretty sad. The kid's only 19 years old. His name is Keith Taylor, but already he has a really long history of mental problems. That's why we learned in court today that that sword may not have really been meant for his father. Instead, he had planned on using it on himself.
Okay, who stabbed him?
Last night, she called 911 on her son. That mom in court today accusing him of being extremely disturbed. 19-year-old Keith Douglas Taylor was drinking heavily last night. Investigators say he took out this extremely sharp, 3.5-foot-long samurai sword, deciding it was time to take his own life.
Defendant stated he planned on consuming alcohol and then using the 3.5-foot sword to cut his own throat.
The sword never touched his neck. Instead, it cut up Taylor's dad. Investigators say the 62-year-old walked in the room, saw what the teen was about to do, threatened to call 911, turning his back to get the phone.
Call the police and turned to leave the room, at which time he was assaulted from behind with this sword, slashed across the back.
Cut on the back, the father turned to keep the sword from swinging again, slicing several of his own fingers.
One of the natural reactions typically when somebody's coming at you with a weapon is to grab it, which he did. He's nearly severed both of his thumbs. He's got some very severe hand wounds.
The kid was drunk, investigators say, and has a long history of depression. But instead of this being a cry for help, Taylor is looking at life behind bars, accused of trying to kill his father.
Some very serious charges, obviously, with some very serious injuries.
And bond is being set right now at $500,000. Now, Taylor's family says that he was diagnosed with depression a few years ago, but that his father didn't like the idea of after effects from those drugs, so Taylor wasn't being treated. Reporting live in Oakland County, Natalie Sentz, Local 4.
And Natalie, before we let you go, how is the father doing tonight?
Well, I'm told he spent about 6 hours in surgery, and his fingers, he almost lost a few of them, but I'm told he should recover.
All right, Natalie. Carmen?
Now.
A father and his 6-year-old daughter trapped when fire blocks the doors to their home, forced to go out a window to survive. That house was destroyed, but the family is safe and unhurt thanks to quick action by both parents.
The mother taking one child out the front door, the father managing to get the other child out a window.
Yeah, this happened at a house on Georgetown Boulevard on Ann Arbor's north side, and that's where Local 4's Natalie Sentz reports with the latest on what caused that fire.
Investigators say this is not a suspicious fire, but when you look at it, it looks pretty bad, and surprising to see that the family made it out, and not surprising to hear a few firefighters were hurt.
At that time, it was a lot of smoke coming out. At first, it just a little bit, maybe, you know, but then after a while, it was billowing.
At 1 in the morning, Sylvia could barely see black smoke rising from her neighbor's home. The young owners had heard an explosion, so Mom grabbed their 3-year-old son, running out the front door to Sylvia's house to call 911. Dad grabbed their 6-year-old daughter. With smoke too thick to go downstairs, he took her out the second-floor window to the roof over the garage, where he was able to lower the girl down to her mom.
Then he took hold of the gutters and dropped himself down from there. So, and that was it.
But that wasn't it. It took an hour and 19 firefighters to get it under control. 2 of them were singed in the face from getting too close to the flames. 1 mildly hurt his arm. He was treated and released from the hospital. The home is now considered a total loss.
Everybody's safe now, and of course the house is a disaster.
The family is being helped by some of their neighbors as well as Red Cross and Salvation Army. Right now, investigators are saying the fire may have started in their kitchen. In Ann Arbor, Natalie Sentz, Local 4.
And again, that fire was in North Ann Arbor. Police say the case is not related to the recent string of fires near the U of M campus.
Serial arsonist has students on the University of Michigan campus concerned. Several fires set over the weekend, the past few weekends, including one deadly. And now some fear this could happen again this weekend. Let's get to Natalie Sentz. She's live in Ann Arbor tonight. Natalie, I understand there will be extra patrols this weekend.
That's right, Carmen. You know, this time of year, they already step up patrols. They're waiting for pranksters at the end of the school year. But especially tonight, all police are going to be on guard after what happened at this house and what's been going on for the past several weeks. A security system is newly installed, more lighting is being added, and it's just in time for what students expect to happen again after midnight.
It's going to be 2 a.m. Saturday tonight, so we've been counting down the days till it happens again, and we're just waiting.
Olivia's is the second car to be set on fire in the past 3 weeks in this very same Church Street parking lot.
What I saw was my sunroof with fire kind of coming out like a volcano.
Within 100 yards, several others have been ignited, all on Saturday mornings between 12 and 5 a.m. Students now keeping an eye on their cars.
I'm really scared it's going to be the next one. The probability of that happening has increased drastically over the last 3 weeks.
We haven't really slept well in a week.
We want the students to be particularly vigilant, paying attention to maybe suspicious behavior around parked vehicles.
Investigators are teaming up from several different departments, patrolling undercover after one of the suspected arson fires killed 22-year-old Brendan Lemasters. Whoever may have set the State Street house on fire could be the arsonist attacking student cars.
And whenever we hear a siren, be it anywhere in Ann Arbor, we wake up.
Paranoia is setting in.
We're constantly thinking, is this guy going to try to trick us and do it in the middle of the week versus over the weekend, or is he going to be consistent and try to do it every Saturday? It's kind of been a whirlwind.
A whirlwind, to say the least. Now, a $5,000 reward is being offered, and right now police are saying they do have several leads, but none that they're willing to release to the public. Reporting live in Ann Arbor, Natalie Sentz, Local 4.
All right, thank you, Natalie.